26th Democracy Day in celebration in Abuja. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, said the government was aware of the hardship caused by its policies, but argued that recent economic indicators suggested improvements in key sectors, while acknowledging public concerns over the cost of living and security. The SGF insisted that government reforms were beginning to yield results. Akume cited economic figures which he said reflected improvements in output and investment, noting that Nigeria's gross domestic product grew by 4.07% in the fourth quarter of 2025 and 3.89% in the first quarter of 2026. The government also used the occasion to highlight the impact of its social intervention programs, including cash transfers, student loans, and consumer credit initiatives introduced since 2023. The Inspector General of Police, IGP, Mr. Olatunji Disu, has ordered the deployment of Deputy Inspector General of Police to their respective zones with effect from June 15. Disu gave the order on Tuesday in Abuja during his conference with the strategic police managers, consisting of officers from the rank of commissioners of police. The IGP said the order aimed to strengthen supervision, improve operational coordination, enhance accountability, and provide strategic oversight of policing activities within their zone. He said the DIGs were expected to work closely with the Assistant Inspectors General of Police and the CPS in their various zones to ensure that operational directives were effectively implemented and measurable results achieved. Disu also directed the CPS to immediately establish what he termed handshake patrol to ensure that criminals were stopped from committing an offense in one state and escaping to another. He said the practice of committing crime in one state and escaping to another must be distorted through deliberate collaboration and joint operational planning. The IGP said security must be approached from the original rather than purely territorial perspective. The Oyo State House of Assembly has called on the executive arm of government to strengthen security in all public primary and secondary schools across the state through the deployment of Amotekun Corps to safeguard teachers, students, and educational facilities. The call followed a motion presented by Honorable Oluwafemi Oluwafowokomi, representing Ibadan Southwest 2 constituency, on the floor of the House. According to him, with over 3,000 public primary and secondary schools operating in the state, adequate attention must be given to securing both public and private schools. He also urged the executive to make adequate budgetary provision for the recruitment, training, and deployment of additional Amotekun personnel, specifically assigned to school protection duties. In their contribution, the Speaker of the House, Honorable Adibo Ogundoyi, and other lawmakers emphasized the need for urgent government action to safeguard public schools across the state. In another development, the House received the report of the Joint Committee on Nutrition and Food Security and Agriculture and Rural Development. The committee had interfaced with officials of the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and the management of the Oyo State Central Abattoir in Amosun Village, Akinyele, and Ibadan, on the need to standardize the facility to ensure hygienic and safe beef consumption in the state. The House has adjourned its sitting until Thursday this week. We shall now take a short commercial break. Please stay tuned.
Our bodies get serums, washes, lotions, cleansers, scrubs, but underarms only get deodorant? That's why our new breakthrough formula contains pure hyaluron and vitamin C to deeply care for your underarms for a softer and even skin tone in 2 weeks. With 72 hours sweat and odor protection, try the new Nivea Derma Control Natural Tone because your underarms deserve more. Nivea is for skin.
Wearing many hats takes a lot out of you. You always need all the nourishing goodness you can get. Especially if you're someone like me that is a foodie. the ultimate meal companion.
A PhD student.
Rich in B vitamins for focus. Yes, we all need it, because every side of you deserves to be nourished.
Progress no dey happen just like that. It dey come from support when you need help.
Mommy, I got the school fees. You too much.
Na money point o.
Money point, thank you.
Customer, na transfer abi? Confirm.
Bro, na transfer.
Na money point oga. Oh, na confirm.
Progress na peace of mind when you know say payment go land as Sure Banker. Progress na small wind where they carry person go far.
No worry, self go make am. Mo go buy ball.
Victor, even you dey use money point?
Of course now, they use money point.
Confirm.
Money Point, made for your progress.
When malaria knocks you down, you can be sure parasites are having a party in your system.
Welcome to our new kingdom, guys.
Comel, an effective weapon against malaria.
Coleman!
Attacking the parasite army directly to give you express relief and get you back on your feet effectively. Comel on. Malaria gone.
Welcome back. Security experts have called on government at all levels to demonstrate greater commitment to their fight against terrorism by adopting proactive measures to tackle insecurity and ensure the rescue of victims held in captivity. The call was made during an analysis of the recent Iliwur abduction rescue operation on BCOS television's current affairs program, Matters Arising. Our reporter, Olamide Owolabi, monitored the program and now reports.
The recent rescue of the sister of former Minister of Power, Chief Adebayo Adelabu, and her twin sons who were abducted in Ibadan has continued to generate public discourse on the country's security challenges. Speaking on Matters Arising, a forensic and security expert, Dr. Wale Ayedun, questioned the demolition of the building where the victims were reportedly held before the completion of forensic investigation. According to him, the action may have led to the destruction of vital evidence that could have aided security agencies in uncovering wider criminal networks. Dr. Ayedun further suggested that to minimize collateral damage during rescue operations, particularly in areas such as Orive, security agencies should consider alternative tactical approaches, including infiltration strategies and deployment of non-lethal incapacitating agents.
Most of the crimes that are happening now, these people have been in our midst, study our terrain. I've been here on several occasions telling the government that these people bring in motorcycles from the north. We should be wary of them. Nobody's acted on it. They will go to Sabo in the middle of the night, offload all the motorcycles to come and do what here? They will give them new machine from the north. They load it into the trailer and drop them here to come and do what? Now the landlord that collected the money for these people at Soka now, he has lost his house, lost the land. He cannot go there again. He will still answer to what the crime these people committed. The agent is in trouble now. Why can't you act when you're supposed to act? So you don't wait. Then people should have first line of defense, not that you just wait until the crime happens. You should have a first line of defense. Defend yourself.
Analyzing the operation from a legal perspective, legal practitioner Dr. Sam Olonfemi argued that existing laws in Oyo State are not stringent enough to serve as an effective deterrent against kidnapping. He advocated the imposition of capital punishment for convicted kidnappers, stressing that stronger sanctions could help curb the menace. Dr. Olonfemi described terrorism as a manifestation of the collective failure of governments, security agencies, and the citizenry, noting that the politicization of security matters has further complicated efforts to address the challenge. Commenting on the abduction in the Orive axis, he expressed concern over what he described as the federal government's inadequate response, questioning the significance of official visits to affected communities without corresponding concrete actions.
You are not sure of even what comes out because Look at even Nigeria now. We don't have even enough law for this banditry. It's the same law that is required for kidnapping that is being used for banditry. And they are not the same offenses, even with the way it is in Nigeria. But it's regarded as a heinous, offense. So some of these bandits that have been caught, they said the equipments with them were given. Some of them even from NSA's office. I read 400 names were given to Nigeria, names of people related financiers of this banditry. Government could not do anything about them. Look at Gumi, what he's saying. He opens his mouth to say, and he walks freely on the street. And government could not do anything about it. When they see an innocent person just passing by, they say, we caught one of their informers. Is the informer we're asking them to catch for us?
The analyst called for stronger collaboration between security agencies and local communities, emphasizing that intelligence gathering and community participation remain critical in addressing insecurity across the country. Olamide Owolabi, BCOS News.
The chairman of Oyo State Road Traffic Management Authority OITMA, Major Adekoya Adeshagba, retired, has warned that commercial motorcycle and tricycle operators found violating the state government's movement restriction order between 10:30 p.m. and 5:30 a.m. will face persecution through the mobile court. He made this known while featuring on BCOS Current Affairs television program Kotuai. Bode Akinjola monitored the program and compiled this report as presented by Adebayo Adubrofi.
The latest edition of BCOS Current Affairs program, Kutuhai, focused on the implementation of the recently signed executive orders aimed at improving safety and traffic management across Oyo State. Speaking on the program, the chairman, Oyo State Road Traffic Management Authority, OITMA, Major Adekoya Adeshagba, retired, explained that Executive Order 002 was introduced to address traffic violations, particularly the dangerous practice of driving against traffic, popularly known as one-way. According to him, offenders driving against traffic risk a penalty of 100,000 naira, while commercial motorcycle operators found culpable will pay 50,000 naira fine. He further stated that Executive Order 002 restricts the movement of commercial motorcycles and tricycles between 10:30 p.m. and 5:30 a.m. across the state.
It's an enhanced law, that order. Secondly, specify that commercial motorcycles and tricycles are prohibited from operating from 10:30 p.m. to 5:30 a.m. in the morning. And they also talked about every vehicles to be duly registered and have their number plates affixed on their vehicles or motorcycles at all time. It clearly details that all Okada riders and tricycles must register with biometrics.
Major Adeshagba, retired, noted that OITMA has restructured its operational procedures to enhance efficiency and compliance with traffic regulations. He added that the agency now collaborates with other security agencies through joint patrol operations to strengthen enforcement and ensure public safety. The OITMA chairman also warned motorists against covering vehicle number plates, stressing that such an offense attracts sanctions. He urged vehicle dealers to always affix valid dealer number plates to vehicles intended for sale.
We know our times in Nigeria, in Oyo State. We know the prevalent security issues in our society. And this is just to curtail the excesses of some of these commercial Okadas and tricycles used to perpetrate these heinous crimes, to reduce that act. And it is absolutely that we are going to move quickly. We've started since Saturday to ensure that people comply with this order. It's absolute obedience and compliance.
Also featuring on the program, the state chairman of the Amalgamated Commercial Motorcycle Owners and Riders Association of Nigeria, Akomaran, Comrade Solomon Olugbode, expressed support for the executive orders. He, however, appealed to the government to engage stakeholders and leaders of commercial motorcycle operators in future policy formulations affecting the sector.
We have found ourselves now, it is more dangerous even in the afternoon, talk less of night. So the order is just to make sure everybody is safe. They stay in their home and stay peacefully. They can resume back to work the following day.
Comrade Olugbode also called on the judiciary to ensure prompt prosecution of suspects arraigned before the courts, saying this would serve as a deterrent to offenders.
We are also victims of this insecurity. And I believe so many people are actually interpreting the intention of the government. The intention of the government is to protect the life of Okada riders and all citizens of your state. It's not that the government is incriminating the Okada riders. So the law is to make sure that everybody stays home and safe so that those who are in charge of security can take over the night for this time.
It will be recalled that Governor Seyi Makinde recently signed Executive Order 002 as part of efforts to regulate commercial motorcycle operations and improve security and road safety across Oyo State.
It's now time for another timeout. Please stay with us.
Wearing many hats takes a lot out of you. You always need all the nourish. Especially if you're someone like me that is a foodie. The ultimate meal companion.
A PhD student.
Rich in B vitamins for focus. Yes, we all need it. Because every side of you deserves to be nourished.
Supra Malt, Multivitamin Junior. Supra Malt, Multivitamin Junior. Being mommy, simplified.
Welcome back. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, has called on businesses to embrace transparency, fair competition, and consumer protection as key drivers of sustainable economic growth. The head of the FCCPC, Oyo State Office, Mr. Akinyosoye Olawale, made the call during the Commission's first anniversary celebration in Ibadan. Speaking on the theme, Promote a Fair Market, Embracing Our Diverse Cultural Heritage from the City of First, Mr. Olawale described Nigeria's cultural diversity, creativity, and entrepreneurial spirit as important economic assets that should be protected through fair market practices. He said the Commission's objective is not to hinder legitimate businesses, but to ensure that markets function effectively, allowing compliant enterprises to thrive while consumers transact with confidence. The FCCPC Oyo State head urged businesses to view compliance not as a burden, but as a competitive advantage, stressing that transparent pricing, prompt compliant resolution, and accurate product representation help build customer loyalty and credibility. Reflecting on the Commission's one-year presence in Oyo State, Mr. Olawale called for greater commitment to professionalism, transparency, diligent readiness, consumer trust, and fair competition in the years ahead. A prominent businessman and philanthropist, Alhaji Ademola Assis, has been installed as the Are Musulumi of Wakajai Central Mosque in Ibadan, Oyo State. The religious chieftaincy ceremony attracted Islamic clerics, traditional title holders, family members, friends, and well-wishers from within and outside the state. Staff reporter Adibayo Abdurrafi has the details.
The installation ceremony was organized by the League of Imams and Alfas of Wakajaye, Ajaye Amadu community of Ajorosun, Egbeda local government area. The event drew the presence of the Chief Imam of Ibadan land, Sheikh Abdulganiy Agbotomakekere, alongside members of his council and other eminent Islamic scholars. The high point of the ceremony was the decoration of Alhaji Ademola Azeez as the Are Muslumi of Wakajaye Central Mosque by the Are Muslumi of Ajorosun, Egbeda local government. Alhaji Abdul Latif Adegun, assisted by the Chief Imam of Wakajaye Central Mosque, Sheikh Abibullah Akorede. Delivering a sermon, the guest lecturer Alhaji Abdulbasit Katibi emphasized the importance of total dedication to the cause of Allah, describing service to humanity and Islam as a rewarding act, both in this world and in the hereafter. He reminded the new title holder that the chieftaincy title was a sacred trust, which should not be taken lightly, urging him to use the position to promote good deeds, improve the welfare of people within the community, and contribute meaningfully to the growth and development of Islam. The cleric also highlighted contentment, love, and appreciation of one another as virtues that attract the pleasure of Allah.
We talk about unity. We talk about bending to the will of Allah. We try to call people to know the gravity of Islam and Al-Quran Al-Karim.
Presenting the certificate of installation to the new Are Muslumi, the Chief Imam of Ibadan Land, Sheikh Abdul Ghani Agbotomakekere, to utilize their wealth in supporting humanitarian causes and projects that advance the cause of Islam. According to him, wealth attains greater value when used in the service of Allah and humanity. At a reception held in honor of the new title holder, family members, friends, and associates paid glowing tributes to Alhaji Ademola Azeez, describing him as a committed Muslim, philanthropist, and community builder whose contributions to the development of Islam earned him the honor.
So he has always been a charity man from the beginning. So that he can do more.
Responding, the newly installed Are Muslumi of Wakajaye Central Mosque, Alhaji Ademola Azeez, expressed gratitude to the League of Imams and Alfas, as well as members of the community for finding him worthy of the title. He pledged to justify the confidence reposed in him by redoubling his efforts towards the propagation of Islam and the development of society.
Before this time, I've been supporting Islam, which is what they saw in me, that they gave me there. And I know it's a new challenge to do more, to promote Islam, to propagate Islam. It's an uncommon privilege to be called to do this. So, but I so much believe that the Almighty Allah will continue to help me, support me.
Among dignitaries present at the occasion were the President General of the Central Council of Ibadan Indigene, CCII, Chief Ajeni Yajiwole, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Kazim Gbedamasi, members of the Ibadan Prestigious Club, and several notable personalities from across Oyo State and beyond. Guests were later entertained with sumptuous meals and refreshments. The installation of Alhaji Ademola Azeez as Are Muslumi of Wakajaye Central Mosque is expected to further strengthen Islamic activities and community development efforts within the area. Adebayo Abdurafi, BCOS News.
We shall now take a short commercial break. Please stay tuned.
My skin is my identity, my strength. It's unique and deserves care made specially for me. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Even Glow, enriched with 95% pure vitamin C and pulp extract. For visibly radiant and even-toned skin in just 2 weeks. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Even Glow, for your shade of beautiful.
Welcome back. The remains of Ibadan-based socialite Mrs. Adekunbi Alabi has been laid to rest at the cemetery of the Cathedral of St. James the Great, Okebola, Ibadan, amid glowing tributes and ceremonies celebrating a life of service, compassion, and impact. The burial service was followed by a grand reception attended by prominent personalities from across Oyo State and beyond. Staff reporter Olubumi Lawal reports.
That was the body of the late Mrs. Adekunbi Alabi being conveyed from St. David's Anglican Church, Ijokodo, Ibadan, where a well-attended funeral service was held in her honor. At the graveside, officiating clerics reminded family members, friends, and sympathizers of the inevitability of death, urging them to live upright lives and remain steadfast in their faith. The clerics noted that the deceased lived a life of remarkable impact, humility, and service to humanity, leaving behind a legacy worthy of emulation.
Were a shadow and never continued in its one state. In the midst of life, we are in death, and of whom may we seek for succor.
Thereafter, the remains of Mrs. Adekunbi Alabi were committed to Mother Earth as family members, friends, and associates paid their final respects and shared fond memories of their encounters with her. A childhood friend of the deceased, Ayaba Mutiat Ladoja, described her death as a painful loss, recalling her as a caring, compassionate, and loving woman whose presence would be greatly missed.
A sister like a mother, a disciplinarian, she radiated her love to every member of the family, not only to our biological children, but every family.
The children of the deceased also paid glowing tributes to their mother, describing her as a selfless, accommodating, and devoted parent who extended motherly care not only to her biological children, but also to many others within the extended family.
My mom was a mother that is incomparable. Whatever I've achieved today is because of her. She stood by all of us. She did what she had to do to make sure we were upstanding children, citizens and boys and girls. She's gone to rest, and we pray that her legacy lives on.
My mother is, every definition of the word mother. In the dictionary, you would see my mother's picture beside it. My mother took care of not just her children, but as many children as possible. And you can see the testament of that today with all the numbers of people that came from near and far to celebrate with us.
Mommy, we will never see the likes of her again, because my mom, she did so much for so many. She took care of us, but she had so many children, apart from the four of us. And she lived a good life. She believed in the value of everyone, regardless of who you are, where you come from. She helped so many people, and we're going to miss her.
She loved us, loved everyone, and she'll be dearly missed. We'll see each other again someday. Yeah.
The reception that followed provided an opportunity for guests to celebrate the life and legacy of the deceased, with attendees treated to a variety of delicacies and captivating musical performances. Among the dignitaries present were the Balogun of Ibadan land, Obatajudin Ajibola, former Minister of Industry, Chief Mrs. Onikepo Akonde, wives of former governors, the Are Musulumi of Yorubaland, Edo and Delta States, Alhaji Daoud Akinola, and the Iyalode Adin of Yorubaland, Edo and Delta States, Alhaja Sidikat Aderibigbe. Also in attendance were the Babaloja General of Oyo State, Alhaji Yekin Abbas, members of Iyalode in Council of Ibadanland, Mogajis, Bales, and other notable personalities from different walks of life. Mrs. Adekunbi Alabi, who passed on to glory on the 16th of May 2026 at the age of 79, is survived by children, grandchildren, and many loved ones whose lives she touched in numerous ways. Olubumi Lawal, BCOS News.
We now move over to the sports desk.
Thank you for joining us on the sports segment of the news tonight. I am Victor Opone.
You already know about the superstars who could light up the 2026 FIFA World Cup. But what about the next wave of talent? A record 1,248 players can feature in the USA, Canada, and Mexico. And while there are few total unknowns, 891 of them are at their first World Cup, including plenty of unfamiliar faces looking to announce themselves on the global stage. Here are some of the players who are worth watching out for this summer. With immense pressure mounting for Juventus USA to clear their group and go far, they would be looking towards a shining star who banked in 19 goals, including 6 in his last 5 games, as PSV Eindhoven won last season's Dutch title. Ricardo Pepi. He also has 13 goals in 35 internationals, but only played 36 minutes for the US between November 2024 and April this year, which seems strange. The 23-year-old was back in the starting lineup for the win over Senegal at the end of May, providing an assist in a 3-2 friendly win, and also came on against Germany last week. Nico Paz. The 21-year-old son of Argentine international defender Pablo Paz, who was part of Argentina's 1998 World Cup squad. Unlike his father, he is a winger or number 10 and has broken through at Como under the guidance of Fabregas. Nico Paz completed more dribbles than any other player in Serie A this season, providing 13 goals and 8 assists. He also scored his first international goal in March against Mauritania, one of an eclectic mix of opponents for Scaloni's side in friendly split this year. Gassim Yassin, the 20-year-old left-footed right winger who plays for Strasbourg, helped his nation win the Under-20 World Cup under new Morocco head coach Mohamed Rabi, who replaced Walid Regragui after the latter surprisingly departed after the Africa Cup of Nations in January. Gassim has featured in all of their friendlies since, making his debut against Ecuador in March as he attempts to break into a side that reached the semi-finals in Qatar. He is presently on the radar of Chelsea and Barcelona. 23-year-old Armando Gonzalez, who scored 25 goals for Chivas de Guadalajara last season. He won his first cap for Mexico in November and scored his first international goal in February. They say the striker has something of Javier Chicharito Hernandez about him, and he would doubtless have learned from the former Manchester United and Real Madrid striker who returned to Guadalajara to end his playing career just as Gonzalez was maturing. The youngest of all players at this World Cup is Tijuana's 17-year-old attacking midfielder who was described as a wonder kid at last summer's Gold Cup when he became Mexico's youngest senior player at the age of 16. Not only that, Coach Javier Aguirre then picked him in the team to start the final that Mexico won by beating Mauricio Pochettino's United States 2-1 in Houston. Johan Manzambi was named UEFA's Europa League Revelation of the season as SC Freiburg reached the first European final in their history. The 20-year-old's 7 goals from midfield last season included a wonder strike against Braga in the semi-final, which put Freiburg in front for the first time in the tie. His 33 attempts at goal across the whole European campaign were 11 more than any of his teammates managed. Geneva born and bred, Manzarbi has been used in central midfield or as a number 10 and sometimes as a right-sided forward by Yakin, for whom Manzarbi scored his first international goal in a 4-0 victory over the United States in Nashville last summer. Osem Ahwa, the gifted 27-year-old Al Ittihad midfield playmaker who scored 15 goals this season for Al Ittihad in the Saudi Pro League, has rediscovered the form that made him one of Europe's hottest properties with Lyon a few years ago. He could well be one of those who could help Algeria repeat the thrills Morocco gave us 4 years ago in Qatar. 22-year-old Alessandro Chiechati has been a regular in the heart of Parma's defense in Serie A this season as he builds up to his first major tournament. The former Italy youth international, who moved to Australia as a 1-year-old, became the Socceroos' youngest captain since 1981 when he took the armband against New Zealand last September, and he is set to be a key part of their backline. 28-year-old Colombian striker Luis Suarez may not produce the same headlines as his Uruguayan namesake, but the Sporting striker has ripped it up in Portugal this season, scoring an incredible 38 goals in his first season at the club. He had big boots to fill as well after Victor Gyökeres departed for Arsenal, and he now looks to take this World Cup by storm. The winner of the Bundesliga Rookie of the Season award, 19-year-old Jan Diomande, registered 21 goal contributions, that's 12 goals and 9 assists in 33 league games to help Leipzig qualify for the Champions League. The winger should feel at home for the next few weeks, having spent 3 years living in Florida after moving to the United States at the age of 15. At just 19 years and 1 month old, the young winger became the first Ivorian to score at the AFCON since Chiresua Gueye, who netted against Sierra Leone on March 27, 1994 at 18 years and 3 months.
And with that, it's a wrap on the sports segment of the news. Thank you for joining. Over now to the main desk for the rest of the news.
And on the foreign scene, hundreds of aftershocks have jolted southern Philippines after a magnitude 7.8 earthquake left dozens of people dead and hundreds more injured. Foreign Desk editor Folashade Akintola compiled the details and others as presented by Bimbo Akombi.
The scale of devastation on Mindanao Island is becoming clear as emergency responders reach coastal cities and towns. Officials fear the death toll, which currently stands at 37 dead and 487 injured, could rise. Buildings have collapsed and roads are either cracked or buried in landslides. Large swaths of the island still have no electricity or telephone connectivity. The earthquake, which struck on Monday morning, triggered tsunami warnings in Indonesia, south of Mindanao and across Japan's Pacific coast, displacing tens of thousands of people. Close to 2,000 homes and 6,000 public schools have been damaged by their estimate so far, he added. The Philippines is routinely struck by earthquakes and volcanic eruptions because it lies on the so-called Pacific Ring of Fire, where there is increased seismic activity. A man believed to be Somali has been arrested on suspicion of attempted murder after a brutal knife attack in Belfast, police have said. The man, in his 30s, remains in custody after the incident in North Belfast. Video circulating online shows a number of people, including one wielding a hurling stick, confronting the apparent attacker until the police arrived. A man injured in the attack, in his 40s, is in hospital where his condition is described as serious. Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer called the incident sickening, adding that he will have absolutely no tolerance for abhorrent scenes of violence like this on our streets. Emergency services were called to Kinnaird Street in North Belfast on Monday night. The victim sustained significant injuries to his face, neck and back. Police Service of Northern Ireland Assistant Chief Constable Ryan Anderson said critical incident has been declared and police have begun an investigation to establish a motive. And lastly, a pregnant woman and 2 others were killed in Russian strikes on Ukraine's northeastern Kharkiv region, while 2 people were killed in Donetsk, Ukraine officials have said. The overnight missile attacks on the town of Chukuiv also injured 6 people and caused damage to residential buildings and shops, the regional prosecutor's office said on Tuesday. In the city of Kharkiv, 16 people were wounded in a drone attack, including children. Photos shared online by officials show a burning building and burnt-out cars. 2 people were killed in Bilozevsky and Drukiva on Monday. Vladimir Filashkin, head of the Donetsk state administration, said on Facebook, with 11 others injured in Sloviansk and Shabelkiva. The strikes come after Ukraine intensified its long-range drone strikes on Russian oil facilities, prompting fuel shortages, while Russia conducted large air attacks on the country. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said on X on Monday that he had a very positive phone conversation with U.S. Special Envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. Bimbo Akombi, BCOS News.
To end the news around the world, here again are the main points. The federal government on Tuesday acknowledged that inflation and insecurity remain major challenges facing Nigerians, even as it defended the economic reforms introduced by President Bola Tinubu's administration over the past 3 years. The Oyo State House of Assembly has called on the executive arm of government to strengthen security in all public, primary and secondary schools across the state through the deployment of Amotekun Corps to safeguard teachers and students and educational facilities. And on the foreign scene, hundreds of aftershocks have jolted southern Philippines after a magnitude 7.8 earthquake left dozens of people dead and hundreds more injured. BCOS TV is now on Niger TV app, and you can watch us from any part of the world. You can also reach us on GoTV, channel 134 and channel 113 on Star Times. Now, before I go, if you see something suspicious, alert the authority for timely response. Be vigilant. And that's the end of the news around the world. Thank you for watching.